36 minutes past the hour here on this Monday morning. As we do every Monday morning, reserve time for the Fairfield Area Chamber of Commerce. Mendy McAdams comes into the studios today. You know what? I've been very busy today. You know what that means? I have not looked at Chamber Chatter yet today.
I just was looking at mine because I also had not looked at mine.
So I'm flying blind this morning. I know there's a few things that, we need to talk about. Is today the tomorrow merchant trick or treat?
It is. So you can still get signed up. And the Halloween will have the list or the skeleton will have the list in the window, and we'll put it on social media, Facebook, all the things.
All right. And basically the hours tomorrow that parents can bring their little ghosts and goblins downtown, their little Barbies and dinosaurs and knights and everything else.
SWAT cops. He was a SWAT cop this year. Yes, so it's based on the business. So some businesses, of course, will be closed before the kiddos are out of school. Some businesses will be open later. It'll be what it is.
All right. And then don't forget, tonight is the Chamber-sponsored Candidates Forum at the Fairfield Arts and Convention Center. I did remind you that if you can't make it in person, you can watch it on Fairfield Media Center's webpage. You can go to their YouTube page, or go to fairfieldmediacenter.com and find a link there as well. But you can watch that. The time frame of this event and maybe the logistics and how it's laid out tonight, the scheduling.
Yes. So doors open at 4:30. We will get started promptly at 5 o'clock with a small intro and the rules of the engagement. And then we'll start at 5:15 with the mayors, followed by city council, followed by school board.
Okay.
And it'll go till 8:30.
Till 8:30. So it starts
Lots
at 5, goes to 8:30. Yes. And did you tell me the rules are they have X amount of minutes or seconds to talk, and then you're just going to pull the plug?
I will if I have to. I'm hoping that we can all be
adults,
responsible adults, and be respectful and civil and kind.
Well, I'll be tuned in. I'll be tuned in just to watch people start miming after their 60-second rebuttal.
There's 3 minutes. There's 3 minutes per question. 3 minutes is a lot of time for a question.
I know people don't have much concept when it comes to time and talking like that. You know, my world centers around 30 and 60-second increments.
Yeah.
And so I know what a minute is, you know.
Exactly.
And so that I know the challenges of talking for 2 minutes, although I could do it all the time. And so 3 minutes is a pretty good go.
Yep. Well, and they'll get to introduce themselves to start with. Of course, that's always the first thing. Introduce yourself and tell us why you're running. And then at the end, we've left it. Is there anything else that the public needs to know about you before they go to the polls next week?
Okay. Did people submit questions? You formulated the questions? You had a committee formulate the questions?
A little bit of everything. We didn't take questions from the community this time because we get a lot of input from our members and our board and our committees. So that was where we got most of our questions.
Again, that's tonight, 4:30. Doors open at the Fairfield Arts and Convention Center. The forum starts promptly at 5 o'clock. I do want to remind you that Chamber Chatter comes to your email box every Monday morning in the 8 o'clock hour. Gives you a quick overview of some of the highlights happening throughout our community the week ahead, and also links to some of those events and organizations. And if you want that and you're not getting it, email the chamber at fairfieldiowa.com. You can also log on to fairfieldiowa.com and check out the calendar of events, the business directory, and everything else. So that's what's happening. Anything else on your list before we get to your guest today?
So the ladies of the Fairfield Women's Club will be having their soup luncheon for the election day. So if you want carryouts, I believe those have to be ordered in advance.
By Friday at 4 o'clock. You can call 472-3241. Again, that's next Tuesday from 11 to 1 at the McElhaney House. Cheesy potato, vegetable beef, pies, cornbread, crackers. And again, they got dine-in, pickup, or delivery. And if you want delivered, or you want to order it ahead so you can pick it up, take it back to the office, by Friday, you need to call 4 o'clock at 472-3241.
That's quite the deal. Those ladies have that down pat. I'm a good listener and a follower of directions, and I've got to bake pies this weekend.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. All right. So you have a guest today, so I'll let you take over, and you and Solomon can talk.
Perfect. Thanks. Good morning, Solomon.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing great. A little chilly this morning.
Oh my goodness, the wind hurt my face for the first time and I was not ready. I think those little trick-or-treaters, hopefully they bought their costumes big and they can put some stuff underneath.
Yes.
So you've been at the center for a little while now.
A little over a year now.
And how are things? Are you feeling like you're settled in? Do you feel like you still are like, I don't know what's happening?
Well, you know this as well as anyone, that you almost can never know what's all happening at the center. Things move quickly and it's always changing and it's never the same thing each day. But But with that, I feel like my roots are kind of set and I can take the wind and change.
Yes, the center is an ever-changing process, and your calendar is worse than my calendar. So I don't miss trying to squeeze in a meeting or squeeze in an event or hey, here's a wedding for the weekend. All right, so what is new with Cinema Fairfield? We haven't heard from you in a hot minute.
Yeah, well, we have a very exciting weekend ahead.
Ooh,
Friday and Saturday, just 2 nights. So normally we run things for a little bit longer than that in terms of our movies. But we have Stop Making Sense, the legendary Talking Heads concert film. Many say it is the greatest of all concert films. And Steve, I believe you saw that way back when
30 years ago.
whoa!
Wait, now this is the 30th anniversary, right?
It's the 40th.
Oh,
so
40.
you might have seen it 40
So I
years
might have
ago?
saw it 40 years ago. Yeah.
Crank back 10 more years, pal.
Yeah, 40 years ago.
Wow, is it awesome?
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah.
It is really extraordinary the way that the Talking Heads
Evolved.
construct and evolve the concert itself. Jonathan Demme, wonderful director, is at the helm. They never cut to the audience, and it gives you this sense that you are part of this concert, that you're almost on stage with the Talking Heads and the big legendary suit.
Yes.
Anyway, looking forward to it. 2 nights only, Friday and Saturday, 7 p.m.
Okay, so Friday and Saturday, y'all know what you're doing now. Okay, so what else do we have coming up?
Well, we have our live series has started, and we have our holiday shows coming up, and we have some very exciting titles. We have Vienna Boys Choir.
Fabulous. Oh
Mid-November.
my goodness, that'll be wonderful.
An Irish Christmas, which is this wonderful vignette sort of show of we've got dance and storytelling and Irish music. It's just a lovely, beautiful evening.
Oh, wonderful.
And then in December, the Nutcracker.
Oh my gosh. And you are teaching acting at Iowa Dance Collective.
I am.
Because they're a chamber member also, so we have to give them a plug. He took that business and he's just keeps, every time I go in there, there's something else, because now he's got Fitco and he's got acting classes and he's got exercise classes and spin classes. So
Yes.
you were an actor, so it's perfect that you teach acting classes.
Yeah, well, I was an actor, and then I also was an acting instructor.
Oh, nice.
And so it has really been a great gift to me to be back in a classroom setting and doing something that's really near and dear to my heart.
And are your students doing well?
They are doing well. I have all boys,
Nice.
13, 14 age, around
Yeah.
there. So it's a lovely hive mind.
Oh, that's
And,
wonderful.
Yeah, we've been having a lot of fun.
And the center's got their artist series up and running.
Mhm.
I saw that first show was a sellout or close to.
Yeah, absolutely. The Hotel California, the
Yes.
Eagles tribute was sold out.
It was sold
Nice.
out. In fact, I got the very last ticket.
Aren't you fancy?
Yeah, I went to the ticket office. I said, 2, and she goes, "We got 1." And I said, "1 will do."
Well, I'll take it. So what's coming up for artist series? I haven't even looked for a minute.
Well, that's what it's.
The Vienna Boys Club.
Yeah.
Yes,
Vienna Boys
there you
Choir,
go.
Irish
We're
Christmas,
talking Cinema
Nutcracker.
Fairfield.
I'm
Come
sorry,
on.
I switched over.
Man, you. All right, so after the Talking Heads film,
Uh
are we going to have some Christmas films and some.
huh. We are
holiday
trying to
films?
get a film called Journey to Bethlehem, and it stars Antonio Banderas. It looks really beautiful.
Oh, cool.
This has not been confirmed yet, and
Yeah.
as you might know, some
Yes.
of these newer films we don't get confirmation until a week. 2 weeks if we're lucky in advance, but something that's a little bit more of a second run, like Talking Heads, which is it's a re-release by A24, so it has been remastered for anybody who's interested in that sort of thing. And anyway, so that we can secure a little bit sooner, but these newer movies we don't get confirmation.
Yeah, so that's totally different. You know, Lindsay can get that whole series scheduled out, and you're like, please let me have it. Please let me have it.
Right. And I try to get people's attention by telling them every once in a while what I hope we're going to get.
Yes.
To get them excited. And I would say 8 times out of 10 we do, but sometimes we don't.
Exactly. Are there somebody we can call and be like, we really want this in Fairfield?
Yeah, so if you are a subscriber to our newsletter, a lot of folks like to reply to that newsletter that, I'll tell you,
Yes.
those come to me. So if you want to make a complaint or request, that comes right to my inbox. And I do my best to put that on the short list and see what I can do. I would say, I don't know exactly the numbers, but many
Yeah.
titles that we've screened came from people emailing me in that way.
Oh, wonderful.
So I'm not the only one.
You're not the only one.
So if there's a movie you really want to see,
Yeah.
just reply to the newsletter.
Yeah, just subscribe to the newsletter, and when you get that, look at what's coming, reply to me, tell me what you think.
Awesome. Awesome. So what's up? What are you hoping for in the new year? How's that?
Ooh, well, we tried to get, speaking of concert films, we tried to get Taylor Swift's Eras movie. The studios at the time when I looked last, you had to commit to a 4-week clean screen, which means nothing else can be in the theater other than that for 4 weeks. Obviously, that's not something
Okay,
that
so
we
don't be
can
mad
do.
Britney's movie's not here or Taylor Swift's movie's not here. It's
But
crazy.
I'm hoping that either after Christmas or into the new year, we will have not 4 weeks, but they'll narrow it down.
Yeah.
So let me ask this question.
Yeah.
I thought that even the admission structure to that movie was completely off scale from a normal theater.
Yeah,
Admission prices.
they're charging
Like
20
$25,
plus,
$30
yeah,
a
depending on the
ticket?
theater, depending on what amenities that they're packaging together, but at least $20 for a ticket. And I don't know what wiggle room we'll have in the new year, but we shall see.
Maybe you can explain the process of securing movies, because it's not just like going to the video store and saying
Right.
that would be fun.
It's not like
That
Blockbuster.
would be fun.
Right. So yeah, thanks for asking. It's a bit of a process. So I take a look at our full year calendar and block out at different times, because our calendar keeps changing, the different windows of opportunity. Some of those windows are a week. Some of those are just a few days. I get those. And about a month to a few weeks away from those windows, I submit the windows to our film buyer. This is the person who negotiates with studios, tells them who we are, reminds them who we are, says what windows we have. And then it's a case-by-case basis. That studio will look at that title and say, okay, are we willing to give it to these folks in Fairfield for a few days? Or do we need to ask for them to give us a 2-week clean screen?
Wow.
So it really just depends on the timing and the title and the studio, and that's why we have that negotiator. And then he will say, here's what we can get and what should we confirm, and then we get it confirmed.
Again, I'm old, and I do remember receiving and delivering and picking up giant canisters
Yeah.
of film.
Right.
Of film. That's not the process now, is
No,
it?
now they what's called a digital cinema package. It's like a large hard drive, and that's for proprietary reasons. So they give us a time-locked key, which they email us from a company, and it's only good for maybe 24 hours before we screen. And as soon as our last screening date is done, we no longer get access to that
Wow.
hard drive. And then I take it back and put it in the mail and send it back to them.
And again, for some of us old school people, you may remember CD players would have like a 6 or 8 disc CD
Yes.
changer. That
Yes.
thing kind of resembles that. It's just it's a cassette that slides into your projector, right?
Right. Like a large 8-track.
Right. So very, very interesting.
Well, and I'm sure some of those movies cost entirely more than you're wanting to probably budget for.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Especially some of the first run. I remember when we were first looking at that some of those first runs are like, whoa.
Well, some of the second runs, this is something that a lot of folks don't know. Like if we go to a second run licensing company, it can be more expensive because they charge per day.
Oh, wow. That's right.
So if you want to show a classic film, you go there and it could be almost $300 a day just to show A Wonderful Life for one day.
I remember when we did that for Christmas in the back parking lot with the big blow up screen. It was
Whereas
so cool.
these films that are coming out, they want you to see it, especially early. So they might charge us $250 for the whole week.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. So if you could have any movie in the new year, what's your first pick?
Oh my. I'm really quite excited about Napoleon. So if we can get that, it's Ridley Scott, and Joaquin Phoenix is one of my favorite actors.
Yes.
He's playing Napoleon.
Oh,
And
fabulous.
Napoleon's a fascinating figure that I've always wanted to know more about, and I feel
Yeah.
like I've always just gotten some surface stuff. So
Nice. All right, Steve, what's your favorite movie?
That I want to see
Yeah.
coming up, Maestro.
ooh,
Maestro would be a good one.
yes.
That would be a really good one. Nice. Well, thanks for being here, Solomon.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And Steve, thanks for pitching in with the questions.
All right, just a quick reminder, doors open at 4:30. Candidates Forum starts at 5 tonight at the Fairfield Arts and Convention Center. I'd love to see you there. If you can't attend, but you would like to watch, you can log on to fairfieldmediacenter.com or fairfieldmediacenter.com's YouTube page. We got markets just around the corner, and CBS News top the hour here on KMCD.